Hello! You're in for a treat.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays.
2 West.
6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
We got new hours because we're nerdish.
And we're in our 20s despite our looks, so we gotta do things in the evening time over the summer.
Correct, but not too late because, as Levi said, we're in our mid-20s.
Not our early 20s.
And not our late 20s, the mid-20s.
Yes, we're the Goldilocks of 20s.
That's right, I shouldn't have laughed. I gotta keep it cool, because this is our intro rap, where we keep things cool.
We're very cool, so cool we might want a dance break.
Hey, thanks for watching our dance break.
Now, back to the really serious stuff.
Like Brady.
And Levi.
And Brady, too. We're the 3 members of the Nerdish crew.
That was perfect. We didn't plan that.
Not at all. We don't plan anything. If you couldn't tell by this rap. That was the one thing we rhymed.
That was the one thing.
Which makes it a rap.
Yes. All raps have one rhyme.
We'll see you on 2 West.
Yes. 2 West.
6, 7:30 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Keep watching, because it'll turn into us, but probably not wearing the wigs.
Yes, and we'll be much more responsive to whatever you have to say.
You could ask us questions right now. We will not answer them.
Also, we take no responsibility for anything we've done in this pre-recorded session.
Yes. Any lost items, Nerdish is not responsible.
Right, we don't have anything to do with it. We're very different people in the present than we are from when we're recording this video. You might say we are the pupae of Nerdish right now, and in the future we will be the moths.
The
Because
disgusting gray moths.
Yes, those gray moths that you hear, they're like the bats of the flying community.
The wings are leathery. They're leathery wings.
Very leathery.
They're basically butterflies, but we hate them.
Yes.
They're the rodents of butterflies.
This is true.
Right?
Just like the ACT is the rodent of the SAT.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Oh, yeah, go put your Nerdish shirt on. Sorry, guys, Levi's just not ready. Welcome to Nerdish. I'm Brady. Levi's coming out right now. You're watching us live. We're doing ACT, SAT prep. There's an ACT coming up September 14th. Are you ready? We're ready to teach you how to be ready, because we're not going to take it. Now, we have taken it in the past, which we're not going to get into that, but we need to make you ready, and that's why we're all here. Also, you owe us nothing. No money, just your eyeballs.
Actually, that's not true. You owe us questions.
Yes, that's true. And your friends, you need to tell your friends about us.
Yes.
You owe us your friends. We would like more friends. So just give your friends to us such that they're no longer yours and they are now ours.
Yes.
Jay the Wiz.
Hey, Jay. Wait, where?
Now go back to Discord. That one.
Oh,
They
is it
just
now?
posted it. Yep.
Oh my gosh. What's the question?
Write the line that goes through that. Hello, Jay the Wiz Kid. So, you have a good question here. I'm going to... Okay, well, you know what? It's quite quick. I'm not going to actually pull it up on the board. My movie of math this year in school just started. Very exciting. Pretty cool. And then it goes through 4,3.
Jay, more questions. This is a good start. We want at least 3 times bigger questions than this.
Zoolander reference?
Yes.
Yes. So, Jay the Wiz Kid, your slope is 3 halves, and it goes through this point. They want the line equation. Let's just familiarize ourselves with what the form is that we're aiming for. The form for which we are aiming. Y equals mx plus b. This is slope-intercept form. There are other forms, but there's not another form like that one. There's point-slope form, there's standard form. Other forms, I'm not exactly sure if they want a specific form from you, but I'm going to give you slope-intercept form here. So the 2 things that you have to adjust in slope-intercept form are m and b. Y and x, they're just going to stay y and x because they stand for numbers that you can, screw around with and change. But m and b are the characteristics of the line in question. What's the slope of the line? What's the y-intercept? Once you know those 2 things, the line just draws itself. You've fixed it in place, okay? So we need to have numbers for those two. And once we do, we have the equation. We already have one of those. We have the slope. The slope is 3/2. So we've already done, I guess we haven't really done any work, but we're almost done here. The thing that we are missing is b.
That is what this point is for.
A point is a, x, and y such that you could plug them into the equation and the equation would work. So you should be able to plug 4, 3 into this and it should work. We're going to have to solve for b here. That's how it's going to help us. 3 is our y value, 4 is our x value. So if I rewrite this, I'm going to have 3 is equal to 3/2 times 4 plus b. All right, let's do some simplification. 3/2 times 4 is going to be 6 plus b. Subtract 6. -3 is equal to b. Now we have b. Now we have our line. Y is equal to 3/2 x minus 3.
Any questions, Jay the Whiz Kid?
Do you like this? Does this make you feel good inside? Does it make you feel queasy, nauseous, proud, afraid, ecstatic? There's a lot of ways to feel about this. Nope, it's pretty easy now. Very good. And that one's on the house. The next one, though, will also be on the house. I just keep forgetting the steps. Yep. At some point, you're going to have to plug in that point. At some point. At that point, you're going to have to plug in that point. Algebra 2 is just so scary. It's not scary when you got us.
Yes.
We make it less scary.
We'll scare the things away that scare you.
Yes. Ooh. Hey!
See?
Just like that.
It's like that every time.
And my resentment towards Levi just grows.
It grew 3 sizes that day.
It's a mixture of Zoolander and the Grinch.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, it's just the Grinch.
Well, it has to be at least 3 times as big. Although, you know what? It doesn't grow to 3 times its size. It grows 3 sizes bigger, as though there's some scale of the size your heart could be.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the Zoolander scale that Dr. Seuss was using.
That doesn't make any sense.
It makes some.
No, think about it.
No.
Dr. Seuss was well before Zoolander.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, Zoolander was born much before that movie came out.
Zoolander is a fictional character, you bum.
You're a fictional character, you Zoolander.
Do you see this?
Hey, Bird.
This is unbelievable.
This is the most recent question on the ACT Reddit. Could you post a link to it? Because I'm going to do it right now.
I mean, I guess. If you want that.
Okay, this is from the Reddit, ACT Reddit, subreddit.
Where? You have to open up here.
Okay, so we got 2 triangles. This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Alright, let's just do it there. I assume y'all can see that. Okay, Algebra 2 is just so scary. Yes, I think geometry is generally more of a jump for most people than is Algebra 2. But yes, Algebra 2 is scary. What's good, Jay, is that most Algebra 2 stuff is on the SAT. So you should ask us Algebra 2 questions and we will answer them. We're not going to do your homework for you, but we can definitely talk about those concepts. Okay, this question. Triangles. Triangle ABC. Okay, triangle ABC and triangle PQR are shown below. Fine. The given side lengths are in centimeters. Sure, whatever. What is the area of triangle PQR in square centimeters? What? Oh, sorry, there's more of this question, isn't there? I'm so confused. Hey, Brady.
Yeah, they should give you the area of one of them.
We don't have any information.
So,
Okay, here's what I think we're supposed to be doing. I'm just going to talk about, I think we lack some information in whatever this picture is here, but, crap. What they want us to use, most likely, is the area of a triangle equals AB times cosine.
No, half AB sine theta.
Why am I saying cosine, darn it?
And the 1
My
half
bad.
2.
I was putting cosine, law of sines and then cosine rule, and I was just putting them all together. Okay, so the area of a triangle is 1/2 AB, A times B times 1/2 times, I always do cosine, because I like cosine better, times the sine of C, that being angle C. So it doesn't quite line up with these measurements here, but basically it's those two side lengths and then an internal side. Because if you have a triangle, and this is angle C here, this is angle A, this is angle B, this is side A, this is side B. So it's for this triangle, you would use the length of side A, the length of side B, times 1/2, times the sine of this angle right here. Okay? That's what the area of a triangle is, any given triangle. You just need these measurements. So we actually have them here, and they're saying between these two triangles that those two side lengths are actually the same, right? So that triangle ABC that's given, unfortunately it's hard to show this because this is the general formula for it, and this triangle is slightly different. But the area of ABC, that first triangle they give us there on the left, is going to be 1/2 xy times sine of 70 degrees. According to that, this A and B aren't the same A and B here. Actually, they are. No, they're not. Please let me know if you have any questions on that. And then the area of the second triangle, PQR, I'll write it down here. Area of PQR is going to be 1/2. You take the side lengths that you're given, which are x and y, so exactly the same, times the sine of the angle that connects them, which will be times sine of 110 degrees. So that is the area of these two triangles. I think what they're trying to do is get you to look at there's going to be some sort of proportion, I assume.
So sine of 70 and sine of 110 are the same number.
Yes.
The areas are the same.
What is the area of PQR and
They don't tell us the area of one of the triangles, which is the problem with this problem. Usually they'll say
side lengths in centimeters.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the same area.
70 and 110 are both 20 away from 90 on the unit circle, so they have the same sine value.
Oh, yes, that's cool.
Yeah, so they have the same area, but this question is missing a piece of information, which is what is the area of, what do they want? They want PQR, so they should have given you the area of triangle ABC. And PQR is going to have the same area because of this right here.
Yeah, because x and y are all the same, so you need the area of one of the triangles. You're just lacking information because you can't possibly get an actual numerical value here because you have x and y. You don't know what those are, or you don't know what the area of one of the triangles is. But as Brady said, the area of both of these triangles, it's the same because the sine value is the same. You have 1/2 xy in both of them. Did you link that one?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, unfortunately, this question didn't have all the information necessary. Yeah, it's not at the top. That's a bummer. Okay. What else we got? Let me get rid of that for now.
This next Reddit question.
Just the next one down?
Yeah.
Same person, it looks like. Does this one have info? Does it have all the info necessary? Let's put it that way.
It should.
Okay. Did you look at it yet?
I mean, a little bit. It should be fine.
All right, so it has what you need.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need the answers or no?
No.
Do you want me to draw for you?
No, we're good.
You want on the left or the right side?
You're asking so many questions.
Yes.
It's good right there. Good. All right. Whenever a slope is a whole number, you always put a 1 to make it into a fraction of the denominator, right? If it's easier for you, you don't have to. But if you want to think of the slope as 3, as up 3 over 1, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with putting something over 1. It doesn't change anything. You don't have to, though. You typically will not see slopes written with over 1 because it's just more information that you don't need to write because it's implied. In the figure below, AB is parallel to CD, AE bisects angle BAC, and CE bisects angle ACD. The measure of angle BAC is 82. What is the measure of angle AEC? Yeah, actually, the fact that you're drawing this is great because I would have wanted to label some stuff.
How about I label it wrong? Does that help?
Yeah, you should just put cosine instead of sine. Just razzing you.
Oh. You say harassing me or razzing me?
I'm harassing you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to label or you want to label?
I got it. I got it from here. Okay. So AE bisects BAC. Bisect means it cuts in half, 2 equal halves. So this angle here and that angle there, they're going to be the same. And CE bisects ACD. So these angles here are going to be the same. If the measure of BAC is 82. Okay, so this right here, this angle is 82. I'm just going to skip right ahead to dividing that in half. 82 divided by 2 is going to be 41. So both of these are going to be 41. Oh, thank you. Yeah, actually, we should have done that before. Good. So these are both 41. What is the measure of angle AEC? This is the question right here. Okay? We have to figure out these angles here. The fact that these two are parallel is what's going to allow us to do that. Because what these are same side interior angles. So I'm just going to make a more dramatic drawing here of what's going on. It's hard to see, but I'm going to make that third side way more slanted so you can see what's going on. So this right here is 82. And this side here is going to be supplementary to 82. Okay? If I just carry these lines on, what this is going to be is 98, because these two things have to add up to 180 because they're a linear pair. And then because these are parallel, we're going to see these two angles down here as well, but they're just going to be flipped. 82 is the acute one, so that's going to go here, and then 98 is going to go here. So what that means is, this angle here is 98 degrees, and then these both are half of 98 degrees, which is going to become 49 degrees. That's 49, that's 49, okay? Now it's just triangle rules. This triangle has to add up to 180, just like every triangle. And two of the angles we have are 41 and 49, and then we have some missing one, so that missing one needs to get us up to 180 degrees. So 41 plus 49 is going to be 90, which means that this one here has to be 90 to get us all the way up to 180 in total. So that's what that one's going to be. Hope you enjoy that one. Okay. What else do we have here? Do we have a... Ooh, we don't have anything on Discord. We always have things on Discord.
Why not 3, Middle?
You want us to have 3 on Discord?
Oh, what do we got here?
Another thing on Reddit? Let's see. M. Coolenham. M. Coolenham should be showing up soon. Alright. Any other ace? Okay, we got a science question. We doing science questions?
I don't know.
Suppose so, right? Why wouldn't we? Oh, this looks fun. Alright, I'm gonna throw this up there. Make that big. Okay, that does not look good at all. But whatever. Wait. That's why. Say m equals 0 and b negative 4, it's y equals x minus 4. Yes, that's right. No, it's not. No, it's not. If m is 0, 0 times x, it just disappears. What you have in there is a slope of 1. The coefficient in front of x is the slope, and if we don't see it, it means it's a secret 1. So no, you are not correct. Don't look at the correct answer. Okay. Now wait, did you say, is b negative 4 or 4? Because I'm not sure if you meant negative 4. Yeah, so it's y equals negative 4. Yeah. No, you're good. Don't worry, you didn't know. There's no way you could have known.
Do you look at Jay's question that he just posted?
Oh, there's a new one?
Yeah, it's super blurry.
Oh, I like that. Oh, this
Like
is
it's
so
not
blurry.
even useful. I think it's 2 points.
Okay, yeah. So Jay, if you remember how I did this last time, they gave us the slope to start with and they gave us a point to work with. What you need to do to get yourself to that point is find the slope between these 2 points they're giving you. Do you know how to find the slope between 2 points? Because once you have that, you can just carry on doing exactly what we were doing with that one before. There's an equation for slope. You got to know that. And if you know that, then you're set. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, you're going to have to do that, and then you'll have your slope, and you can use either of the points to find your y-intercept. It doesn't matter. You just need 1 point to use to find your y-intercept. And solve for b. Should we do this, or should we go back to Reddit?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. Well, actually, Jay, do you want us to do this question? Oh, wow, so it's that easy.
It's that easy,
yes,
man.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, so think about it this way. I think starting a new math class is always scary. Just look at it in like big picture. You have a situation where you're learning stuff. I mean, I don't know if this is semi-review and it's just stuff you've also forgotten, sort of. But they're going to teach you how to do something, and then all of the work you do is going to be practicing those concepts that you just learned, right? So if you're working on slopes and lines and things like that, you know how to find the equation of a line. You know what slope-intercept form shows. So how can you find those things? You know from the last one that you have to have at least 2 points. You need to know a point. You need to know the slope. You need to know 2 points. You have to know those pieces of information. And those are the most common, and they're also on the SAT. So 2 points, find the line. You can have a slope and a point, find the line that way. You could maybe say, think about this one, Jay, actually. I'm actually about to start a new pink marker. I'm very excited about how nice this is going to be. So we might have, okay, so here's a line that they give us, line L, and then we have a perpendicular line that crosses at the point, and we know the slope of line L. Let's say the slope of line L is 2, so then, and it crosses at this point, let's say this is line W, I guess, crosses the line 2, 4. So the question might be, okay, what is the equation of line W? Knowing that it is perpendicular to line L at the point 2, 4. Can you find the slope of the line that way? It's still all this, you have to get to the same point eventually and work backwards. And you know how to do that. If you have this information, how do you get that information? And so on, working yourself backwards. Is this a new question?
This is on Reddit. It was from a little bit ago.
Has it been answered?
It is not.
Oh, that's
Do
exciting.
I do it?
Yeah. I'm going to leave this up for a hot sec. Okay, so for real numbers x and y, when is the equation that equal to that? Oh, that's fun. So we have the absolute values of 2 things. Very interesting. When is this true? Okay, I'm going to write that original thing, and I'm going to use this pink because I'm very excited about it. We have, I'm in the right spot. Okay, so 2x plus 3y, 2x minus 3. Okay, 2x plus 3y, the absolute value of that equals. Does this make sense, Jay? Do you think you can do this? Equals the absolute value of 2x minus 3y. So let's talk about what absolute value symbols mean. Again, we did this a bit yesterday. It means you're taking the magnitude of something. Yeah, I thought you would need to find w though, right? Yeah. How do you find w? If you know the slope of this line is 2, they both have to cross through this point because they intersect at that point, and w and L are perpendicular. Yeah, you need to find w there. Yeah, so the goal is to find w. So this makes the whole thing positive. Absolute value does not just change that minus sign into a plus sign. That's not what happens. It's saying you have to do this whole thing first, and then you can make that positive if it's not already. Okay, so for real values for real numbers x and y, when is the equation 2x plus 3y equal to, absolute value of that equal to 2x minus 3y? Okay,
I want to talk about always first, because this really hits on the idea of absolute value stuff. That is not true. These can't always be equivalent. Okay, because let's say that x and y are both 1. Okay, so you just have 2 plus 3, absolute value of that, equals 2 minus 3, absolute value of that. That's clearly not the case. This is the absolute value of 5 equals the absolute value of negative 1. No. Okay, so we know it's not always. I will cross off B. Let's try to disprove never. Never would mean these can never be equal. Well, that's not true. X and y are real numbers. X and y could be 0 each, both of them. So you just have the absolute value of 0 here. So 0 plus 0. You have 0 minus 0. That's true. So it can't be never. We just came up with a way that it could work. We also came up with a way that it couldn't work. So A and B are too extreme. It doesn't mean that always and never are always going to be the wrong answers. That's not the case. Just in this case, that's not what's happening. Only when 2x equals 3y. That's very interesting. I don't know why that would be. Let's try to plug that in and see what happens. I'm going to erase the little bit of work I did here. Jay, I'm going to erase this, okay? Tell me if you don't want me to erase it. I'll erase it in a sec if you don't say anything. Okay, so we're saying these two express y equals negative 1/2 plus 3. Let's see. Negative 1/2 is true. That's got to be the slope. And then I'm not going to do the work, but I'll check your answer by plugging in the 2 and the 4 to your equation. I assume you meant negative 1/2 x. So negative 1/2 times 2 is negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So actually your answer is incorrect. So double check that. So it is negative 1/2. That slope, it has to be negative 1/2 because it's the opposite reciprocal. But then when you plug in your point, make sure you're aware of negatives, because I just plugged it in. Unless I messed up negatives, then I think you're off by a little bit. You have to plug in 2 for x, 4 for y. I think your answer is going to be plus 5. I think. We'll check on that. Okay, so back to this one. They're saying only when 2x equals 3y. Okay, well if 2x equals 3y, then we could just say 2x and 2x, right? Both times. 2x plus 2x, the absolute value of that equals 2x minus 2x. I don't like this either, because 2x minus 2x is 0. So we just have absolute value of 2x plus 2x equals 0.
Simplify, my lord.
So absolute value of 4x equals 0. True. Okay. Fine. I'm not sure that's the only time, but we'll find out. I don't love this one too much. But this isn't wrong. Like that there is a value of x that works here. D is saying only when x and y are both 0. Well, that works, right? If x and y are 0, we actually already talked about that. That's how we disproved never. So if x and y are 0, you get 0 plus 0 equals 0 minus 0. Absolute value doesn't matter because it's all zeros. Yes, Jay, we'll go over that. So D is maybe okay, and then only when x equals 0 or y equals 0. Only when x equals 0 or y equals 0. Huh. Let me think about that because I just spaced. If x is 0, these go away. Oh, I like that. If x is 0, we say that only x is 0. That means that we will get this to go away. So we just have absolute value of 3y equals the absolute value of negative 3y. That's true. That's for sure true. Or y equals 0. That would mean that we have absolute value of 2x equals absolute value of 2x. I like that one. I do like that. That seems true for any value of y and any value of x. I don't love the wording in these because while there is a value of x that satisfies this situation for c, it's not true for all values of x. And then we have only when x, so I like E, but there's, Bert, do you want to talk about the way to do this without going through all the answers and just trying to deal with absolute values and solve?
Now, when you say only when 2x equals 3y, that means that we can eliminate that.
Oh, because we
from
just, this one works.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right. Okay, so you're saying how we could figure this out algebraically?
Yes, with the absolute value things.
Oh, that's super interesting.
I agree. I mean, they have to be opposites of each other or the same, right? Those are your two situations.
Right. So either you have
Let me make some space for you.
2x plus 3y is equal to the negative of 2x minus 3y, or the positive, I think.
Yes, because when you take the absolute value of some, let's strip the absolute values away.
Okay, yes.
They have to be opposites. Like these have to be the same. It's like saying this is the same thing as saying, okay, whatever's in here has to be equal to whatever's in here, and it's just they are allowed to be opposites because the absolute values take that away.
Yeah, so if we look at these two equations here, I rewrote this one down here. This first one here, 2x plus 3y equals 2x minus 3y, the only way that that's possible is if the plus 3y and minus 3y were both 0. You can't add something and subtract something on the other side and somehow get the same thing unless those are 0. And then for this one, I'm going to rewrite this because it ends up taking like almost the same form as the one we just did. We have 3y plus 2x is equal to 3y minus 2x. And in this case, the only way this could work is if the x values were 0.
And if you're actually solving this, you get 3. You don't actually have to make the assumption that y has to be 0. You can just solve for y. We add 3. This is weird, but you add 3y to both sides. You get 6y equals 0. Then you divide by 6, and you get y equals 0, because 0 divided by 6 is 0. You can do the same thing with that guy down there.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay, so, Jay, let's talk about this one. Are you still here? Say hi. Or don't. I'm still going to talk about it.
Always, you got it.
Thanks, Bird.
Yes.
Okay. So, my guess, hello. Jay, did you jump to, you knew the slope of this line immediately because of the opposite reciprocal, or did you go about it a different way? Actually, there is no other way to go about this. So, yes, from here, perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So, we know that our slope is -1/2. So that means, at the moment, our equation is y equals -1/2 x plus b. We don't know what b is. But we know that this equation has to satisfy the point 2, 4, right? If you plug in 2, 4, it has to work. So we'll plug in 2, 4. We plug in 4 for y equals -1/2. We plug in 2 for x plus b. Did you plug in the wrong way? Is that possibly what you did? You plug in 4 here,
plug it in.
2 there. No, so okay. So from here, you get 4 equals -1 plus b. Now we add 1 to both sides, and we get 5 equals b. So if b is 5, then we put it back up there. We get y equals -1/2 x plus 5. Does that approach make sense? Ooh, so what was the thing you missed when you did this the first time on your own? Because that's important. It's always good to identify yourself. I think I messed up with my negatives and positives.
Oh, we got some meme questions.
Oh, memes got some questions?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the follow, Grumpy Kitten. You should definitely ask us some questions. Don't just follow, ask us questions.
I like this one.
Grumpy Kitten, are you from Reddit? You from Discord? Where are you from? Your ancestors from Reddit? What is the lore?
Wait, where's
What's your
Grumpy
family
Kitten?
lore?
Grumpy Kitten 420.
Reddit,
Uh-oh.
cool. Great, great.
Sorry.
No.
What?
All right, let me erase this, and then where's the spritzer?
It's over there.
Why?
I don't know.
We gotta refill these bad boys.
Yeah, we do. I was going to talk to you about that, but I forgot. All right. I got this one.
Grumpy Kitten, do you have more questions? Do you have other questions? Are you from Reddit because you asked a question on Reddit and we answered it, or because you just saw one of our answers on Reddit?
Yeah. Which one are you, huh? You got to tell us the truth. New. Saw. New Saw.
No.
No. Nassau. It's from Nassau County.
Yeah?
Yeah. Maybe they work
That's
for,
how you pronounce that.
maybe they work for NASA?
Yeah.
Nassau.
Are you doing this one or
Yes.
not doing this one?
I would like to do this
Okay.
one.
Can you handle it?
Can you draw it over here?
Yes.
All right.
Wait, where?
Just, when you erase this stuff, whatever. In triangle ABD, shown above, line segment AC bisects angle DAB. Which of the following is equivalent to the ratio AD to DC? All right, Levi's going to draw this out, and then I'm going to really have a good time with it. Look at that. That's a long triangle, Levi.
You're a long triangle.
It's nice and stretched. Okay.
Nope. That's not
There
true.
he goes. We got X, X, and Y. No, there's a Z. I'm gonna just make this big. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay, so it says that line segment AC bisects DAB. So if that is the case, there we go. These two angles are the same. Whoa, look at that. These two angles are the same, okay? What we have here, if you look at these answers, they give us ratios. I'm flying by my homework. Thanks again, guys. We want you to fly by your homework. Don't even fly through it. Fly by it, as though you see it through the window, but you just keep going. That's what you want to do. If you see ratios, there should probably be some proportionality here. Maybe they're similar triangles. Is that the case? Let's see if that's the case. All right. There are three triangles we can look at. We can look at the overall triangle. We can look at this triangle here, or we can look at this triangle here. Okay. Let's see if there's any that we can actually say are similar. So these two triangles here have these two angles in common. Those are the same. Okay. Is there any reason to believe that these two would be the same? Not necessarily. Any reason to believe these two would be the same? Not necessarily. So these two triangles here are not going to be similar. We can't prove that. But that's not the only pair of triangles we can try. All right? Try triangles. Anyway, this large triangle here, this is interesting. Because it's got, they both share, yes, they both share this angle. And then if that one is twice that, which ones can we say are the same? X, Y, and Z. Oh, they have the same side lengths as well. They both have Y. And they both have X. Okay. All right. Levi, my boy, come on up here.
Yeah? You got a hard one again?
We got to figure out which triangles here are proportional to each other. Yeah. I will say I'm going to redraw it a little smaller with some more pronounced angles.
So
these two are the same. X, Z, Y. This is all part of the process. Meeman, are you watching? Are you here?
So which triangles are...
They want, okay, AD to DC.
AD to DC.
Yeah. I figure there has to be some proportionality for that to work. And I think the proportionality would be... So wait, that triangle, can we prove that that is...
Could it be law of sines or something like that you use?
That's an interesting idea.
Because if you have this angle here, both these angles A are the same.
Oh!
Is it not law of sines?
No, it's not law of sines.
That's okay.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, good. So we're going to call both of these X, and this is X. And if this is Y...
Wait, can you not call it X because we have an X up there?
Oh, that's a great point.
Call it little a, big A, or both little A's.
Okay.
Because they're part of angle A.
Sure. Okay, we have little a and little a. This is y.
Wait,
So-
but there is a side length y. Can you not do that?
Jeez.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. I'm not upset with you. I'm just disappointed in you. I'm kidding. So this is b. This would be 180 minus b. 180 minus b, because they make a linear pair right there. Okay. So then we know that this angle here is going to have to be. Let's figure this out. Because I know that this angle here, C, they both share that angle. That's angle C. Then we have this triangle here and that triangle there. They both have angle C in them. And they both have angle A. Maybe. Levi, maybe I had a dead end.
I don't understand what you were going for, so I'm not gonna.
I thought this thing here was going to help us.
Okay. I'm gonna try sine rule. See what happens. Well, sine wouldn't help us at all, honestly.
This one right here. So I
don't know why that would help.
Minus A minus 180 plus B. So this is going to give us B minus A. This is going to be B minus A.
Wait, are these two angles equivalent or no?
No, they're not.
Okay.
B minus A. Okay, so then minus B minus A.
We're doing AD to AC, right? Or AD to. Dang it.
AD to DC.
Screwed that up. This is another really hard one. Was Meme the one who gave us the last really hard one that we didn't do? That we didn't get?
I don't know. DAB. AD DC. Am I wrong in assuming we have to figure out that there's some kind of proportional or similar triangles here?
There aren't though. You can't prove that. Because these two small triangles you can't prove that. You have a side and you have an angle, which doesn't help you.
I mean, not congruent, but similar.
No, I know. You have no side ratios to start with. So you have to go with angles. This angle is shared by this small triangle and this big triangle. But that doesn't help you.
Mm-hmm.
This angle is shared by this small triangle and this big triangle, which also doesn't help you. I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm going to change it up a little bit. We can agree that this angle plus this angle would have to be the same as this angle plus this angle.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then these two angles here are complements of each other. Sorry, supplements of each other.
So these two angles are supplements of each other.
In which case, we've got it, right?
Wait, no, they're not. Does that make this 90 degrees?
I don't know. I don't think they'd have to be.
So these two angles are supplements of each other, right?
No.
No, they're not.
No,
Okay,
these two
so
are.
that's not true. That's not true.
So this would be 180 right here. This would be 180 minus A minus B. And then if we find what this would be, it'd be 180 minus this. And 180 minus this would give us A plus B.
Yeah, which makes sense because this is the supplement of the sine. Yeah, it's the not external angle. What is it called?
Exterior angle?
Exterior angle theorem.
Okay.
Right. The exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the other angles in it.
I'm here.
Thanks, Siri.
Hey Siri.
Don't, whatever you do, don't.
Call Mom.
No, don't. She's here. It's okay. She's here. All right. And
We
then-
have 4 minutes. 2 minutes to get this, otherwise I want to move on.
Okay.
This is harder than anything on either test. This is not our bread and butter.
No, no.
Definitely
not. Wow.
I don't think that's the way to do it. Could we make it cool and kind of make it into...
If this is on the SATs, rip Johns Hopkins' dream.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be on...
No, this is too difficult. What do we know about bisecting angles?
Right, did they
in a
like
triangle?
open up
Is
to
there a
something
thingy?
interesting?
Oh, you know what they do? It's... Oh, shoot. It's like this is equivalent to that. Or there's a ratio of this to this or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go find that.
That's what it is.
Be a good boy. Make yourself useful. Go find that.
That's from geometry, I think.
Are you sure it's not from calculus? All right, Levi's on the mission here. There is a theorem or a formula we're missing. Yeah, that's tough. That over that is that over that. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. AD over DC. Yeah, okay.
Someone
It's
just tell
Z
you?
over X. No. I remember what the formula was.
Yeah, it's the two sides that are not...
This over this is that over that.
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
So that's what it is.
Oh my gosh. So it's not proportional. You're right. Okay. So, here, wait. I'll just...
This is called the triangle angle bisector theorem.
Here's what it looks like. All right. There's a triangle and these bisect each other. And let's say that this is A and then this is B. And then we're going to call this C and D. A over B will be the same as C over D.
Yeah, so the answer to this question, AD to DC, this to this, would be X to Z. That's all. So there's just a formula.
Oh, man. Okay,
Or,
AD to DC is X to Z. Yeah, all right. So no similar triangles. I was really hoping they would be similar.
There's no way to prove it. You can see that.
But I tried my best.
You did, and it was
Not
the
good
wrong
enough.
choice, and you shouldn't try that hard ever again. Because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm
You look
kind
like
of
a
embarrassed.
nerd.
Yeah. Guys,
okay.
if there's one thing you guys should absorb from the stream, it's that you should know exactly how to do every problem on site. Do not, if you find yourself trying to work through something and consider possibilities, you're just doing it wrong.
Yeah, in that case, RIP Johns Hopkins' dream.
Yes. Everything should be done in a second, and math does not involve any actual thinking. That's what you should come up with. No work in math. Just knowing already.
You have to know it already.
Levi and I were born with all the knowledge that we have.
Yeah.
Yep. That's very true. Oh, it's so true. Absolutely.
Okay. Hey, Meme, if you're watching, your middle problem of the last 3 that you just did, can you take another picture of that? Because it's a little blurry, and it'd be nice to not have to do it with it being very blurry. I'm going to do your third one, though.
Just to be clear, Levi and I were being sarcastic. Math involves a lot of work and thinking and failure.
And love.
And love. This is a message from your sponsors, Brady and Levi. We sponsor ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, see, Jay, I didn't know if you were kidding or not when you said that's very true. I sort of knew. Yeah, no. I mean, it's you have to fail and you have to learn by making mistakes. Did I scratch you with my toenail?
No.
So you're going to see us do that sometimes too. And now, Levi and I will not forget that theorem in the future, right?
What there?
Good. That's exactly right.
Okay, in the figure above, triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Great. What is the value of cosine of E? Okay. The sides of similar triangles are proportional. Yes? Meme, is this from your homework, by the way? Also, Meme, say hi.
Don't just watch us.
It is good to answer my questions. So, these two triangles, like we have a 5, 12, 13 triangle, so DEF could be I'm just going to decide that DEF is a right triangle, 5, 12, 13. You know what? I'm going to say that it's 10, 26, and 24. Okay, they're similar, right? So there's a scale factor. You just multiply the smaller one by something on all the sides, and you get the next similar triangle, right? That's the whole point of similar triangles. Their side lengths are proportional. There's some scale factor. With that in mind, and then understanding that trig ratios are just that. They are ratios, right? So the sine of any given angle is going to always be the opposite over the hypotenuse. But so they're asking about the value of cosine of E. Well, if this is our triangle here, cosine of E is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, which would be, so cosine of E is equal to 24 over 26, which simplifies to 12 over 13. The answer would be B. Okay? Now, you don't have to even draw this triangle. You don't have to make up numbers for it. You need to understand that, look, if we're looking at this, this is the cosine of E of this triangle I made up. I doubled all the side lengths because that's what you can do to make another similar triangle. You scale up the sides. But then I divided by 2 on the top and the bottom to reduce this fraction. Because if you're scaling you're scaling all the sides, when you divide 2 of them, that ratio remains constant, right? The ratio of the adjacent and hypotenuse in the smaller triangle. Do you guys do multivariable calculus? No. Good question, though. This is only SAT and ACT, because that's what more people need. So that's what we're doing. But Bird, you're tutoring multivariable calculus, right? Do you have any calc students or no?
Not currently, but I do tutor that.
Yeah, Brady tutors that for more money than we charge on here, which is 0. Yes, but we're not going to do it live. This is our company, me and him's company. Brady, be my Algebra 2 tutor, please. I mean, kind of what we're doing. Not
Who
this.
said that?
This was Jay. Jay, if you actually want tutoring, please let us know, and we will happily tutor you. That's our job, where we actually make money. But yeah, we're just answering SAT, ACT questions. Yeah, he'll charge. Private tutoring is not free, but this is free. Yeah, if you actually want tutoring, let us know. Okay, I hope this idea makes sense, Meme, even though you're not responding. Cool. Yeah, just send us a private message somewhere, Discord, Reddit. You can go to our website and send a link. We have a form through the website. People say Algebra 2 is really hard, and I think that's just because they don't work that hard. Algebra 2 is hard. I mean, the concepts are very difficult. It depends. I mean, it's a very abstract thing. It's a geometry, I think, is very hard to learn, but Algebra 2 is more just numbers, less visual, so it is, I think, a little bit more abstract than geometry. So yeah, I do think it's hard. It's just, yes, if you work hard, it goes better, for sure. Yeah. I explained this to an extent. Please, nobody's asking, so I'm going to assume that you get it, and I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Scales up, so it scales down. So if you have similar triangles, all the trig ratios of their shared angles, or the corresponding angles on the triangles, will be equivalent. You'll be back in 5 minutes. Very good. Let us see if Meme asked another question. Or, no. Meme did not repost that question. That's fine. Ooh, what's this? No. No. Okay. Let's do some Reddit stuff again. Jay's gonna be back in 5, Bird.
Got it.
Math help, please. Ooh, yay. This is fun. Brady, we have a fun question. This might be hard.
I'd like to do it.
Are you sure?
I'd like to do it now.
Okay. Can you erase that though? While I
Yes.
pull this up? In the figure shown below, A, B, C, and D lie on a circle whose center is 0. The diameter is AB, and perpendicular over to CD is perpendicular to AB. The length of AD is 5, and the length of BD is 12. What is the length in centimeters of CD?
Oh, I got this.
Okay.
So
I'm just gonna drop all of this.
okay.
Do you want me to draw the picture for you?
I got it. And actually, you can forget the answers too. Good. Okay, so whose was this?
This is on the ACT Reddit. Ethan, what's up?
Okay. So one thing that the student already did is typed 5, 12, or 12 and 13 on this, and I just want to talk about why they were able to figure that out.
Can I draw it, please?
Fine, you can draw it. You can draw
Thank
it. Very good. Very good. The only thing they got here was that AD was 5, and the length of BD was 12. Is that what they? Let me see exactly.
They gave 5 and 12.
Oh, they gave 5 and 12.
For AD and
Okay.
DB.
So what you'll notice here is that 5, 12, 13 is a Pythagorean triplet, which you can only do if you know you have a right triangle, where the angle ADB would be the right angle. There is a reason that we actually do know that that will be a right angle, and that is because of this little circle property right here. If you ever draw a circle with an angle inscribed on the edge of the circle, and let's say that this is, I don't know, 32 degrees, the arc that it opens up to will be twice that angle. This is going to be 64 degrees, okay? Or you could speak lower, please. What does lower mean?
I don't know.
What do you mean by lower? My voice or my, what do you want to?
I don't know.
All right, let us know what you mean by lower.
Lower, my lord.
I've watched you live last week and I tried to learn from the past mistake, but it really doesn't much help. What can I do?
Which past mistakes?
Ethan, refresh. Is this when we said you should look at what you're getting wrong and then watch us and stuff? Yeah, say a little bit more about that. So in that case, if we open up to a diameter, so let's say we have some angle that opens up to what we know is half the circle. This right here is an arc that's 180. It has to be because it is on 1/2 of the circle. So this right here has to be 90 because it's half of that arc right there. So what this is going to mean is that any angle you can draw that opens up to these points, so that angle there, this angle here, all of these are going to be right angles if they open up to the diameter. So angle D right here, this is a right angle, so we know that this is a right triangle, which means that we can do Pythagorean theorem to find that the diameter is going to be 13. Ethan, if you are serious about getting your score up as fast as possible, contact us for tutoring. We need to know exactly what you don't know, and the thing is, you don't know what you don't know, but by watching you work through something, we can figure out what parts of the things is, what are the parts that you don't know. You'd have to know everything to know what it is the things are that you don't know, if that makes sense. Did you retake a test or something? Did it not go well? Just give us some more information. So now it comes down to how do we find CD right here? This is a fun thing. This triangle here, when you're calculating the area of a triangle, you can use base times height, 1/2 base times height, but you can alternate which bases and heights you use. As long as you're honoring, yeah, my test got worse actually. That's not good. Yeah. So the thing is, improving your score takes a while. So you could take a test on a certain day, go over the mistakes, and take a test on 2 days from then. There's no guarantee your score is going to go up. Like huge improvements on this test take like months. And like Levi and I work with kids individually. We do private tutoring, And like, it takes a while to get your score up a lot. So from one test to the next, if you have not done, where do you guys tutor? We do it over FaceTime and Google Hangouts and Zoom and things like that.
Or New York City or Northern Jersey.
Or New York City or Northern New Jersey is where we are. So we can do in person or we can also do online. We do both. Anyway, if I want to calculate the area of this triangle, then I could think of it like, 13 is the base, and this Ethan lives in South Jersey.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, Levi says it's not going to happen. Edison, New Jersey.
That's very far.
That's also, that's Jay the Whiz Kid. Get a lot of East Coasters here. All right, you guys should contact us about, most of my students, I work with them over FaceTime, and we use like a whiteboard application, and it works fine. Anyway, this is the height. So if that's the height, I'm going to calculate the area of this thing as area is equal to 1/2, our base is 13, and our height is h. This doesn't actually let us solve for h, but there is another way to calculate the area of this triangle, which is look at it from this way. Tilt your head. Here's the base, and here's the height. They're perpendicular to each other, so we can use them. That's the only restriction. When you're finding the area of a triangle, the base and the height have to be perpendicular. The height needs to be an altitude, okay? So this is the triangle that you're trying to find the area of, and this is 10, and then this is, 3. This side length is not perpendicular to 10. You'd have to find whatever this distance is to be able to use that as a height. We can use this as our base and height because they're perpendicular. So another way to calculate the area would be 1/2 times 5 times 12. And if we do that, we're going to get that the area is 30. Yes, 6 times 5 is 30. So we can set this equal to this right here and find what our missing height is. So I'm going to do that here. So 1/2 h times 13 is going to give us the area that we're supposed to have, which is 30. So I need to first multiply everything by 2. H times 13 is going to be 60, and divide by 13. 60 divided by 13, or 60 13ths. And I believe that that was an answer. Close. Let's see. 60 over 13. Yes. There you go. Now, I believe there'd be another way to do this with using similar triangles. There would be. But I find that other way to be a little more involved. You have a right angle here. Both the triangles share that angle, so this one is going to be the same as that one. But if you do that, so wait, this angle here becomes that angle. You just have to do some similar triangle stuff. And you can do it that way as well if you want.
Did you just do areas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How about the cost? Message us about it.
It'll cost you everything.
Your firstborn and your secondborn. But you can keep your thirdborn until they're 12 years of age. Then they're ours. But at that point, we'll give you back your firstborn, which hopefully the firstborn will be older than 17, because in that case, we'll be able to child labor laws.
Good luck, Coos. Okay.
But the secondborn, when they're 24, will need to work for us in the fields.
Is that 24 nerdish years?
Yes, but then the firstborn will have to go back to you when they're 37. So as long as you all that stuff, then we'll tutor you.
Or you can pay us in normal money. But we don't prefer it.
We'll have to check the conversion rate between normal dollars and nerdish dollars. It's constantly fluctuating on the underground market.
All right, Bird. Let's see how this goes. So I'm gonna turn it transform. Yes, clockwise. We want clockwise. Oh, look at that, Bird.
Right? Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Okay, so this is from Reddit. This is on my computer. Could you link it right now?
I have to erase this first. Fine. You can erase?
Yes.
I'll link.
Okay, so this is a fun problem. This is an English question. Anxiety levels going through the roof. Coos, don't do that. Just relax. That always works for nobody. Okay. What time did it come out tomorrow? I think it's just kind of they just do it as it goes, right? Okay. This is, first of all, recognition. Obviously, you probably recognize that this question is a transition question, right? It's not grammar or punctuation. You're trying to choose between nevertheless, in the same way, on the one hand, and otherwise. Now, this is only 2 sentences, so there's no greater context to it. So actually, we'll talk about why on the one hand is no good. But the general approach to these questions, 7 a.m., okay. It's pretty early, so just go to bed. The general approach to these questions is identify the idea before your transition and then identify your idea after the transition. Now, the transition isn't always going to be between those 2 ideas, and that's what's wrong with C. Because C says, on the one hand, the way we use that is we say, it doesn't matter what's before. We don't care about what's before. And then we say, on the one hand, this thing. Then we say, on the other, this. Because on the one hand is in the middle here, and we don't have another idea after the second sentence, C doesn't make any sense because it requires more stuff. I've been watching SAT reaction videos on YouTube. That's such a bad idea, Cruz. Don't do that to yourself. That is such a bad idea. You are a doofus canoofus. So, our first idea. Dogs use their excellent sense of smell to detect friends and foe around them. So dogs use their sense of smell to detect friends and foe. Blank. Bats rely on their incredible ears to navigate the world using echolocation. Notice, I said blank. I'm not going to say nevertheless because it starts influencing my interpretation of this sentence or this paragraph. Do not let it. Skip that transition because it's probably not right. There's only a 25% chance of it being right. So, dogs use their excellent sense of smell to detect friends and foes. Bats rely on incredible ears to navigate the world using echolocation. Okay. So, these ideas aren't, conflicting. It's just dogs do this, bats do this, and the things that they're doing are similar, but they don't do it the same way, right? So, nevertheless, I don't like the one that's there because that shows contrast, right? Or it shows conflict. Nevertheless means the same thing as despite, right? We don't want despite because it's not in spite of the dogs using this stuff, bats do this. We don't care about that. We're not saying that one happens, but even though that happens, this happens? No. B, in the same way, I like that, sort of. I don't love it. Dogs do this thing. In the same way, bats do this thing. It's weird because we're talking about excellent sense of smell versus good hearing, right? But what they're doing is the same. But they say in the same way. So I don't love B. I really don't. C is problematic because this is clearly like a practice book question, so there's nothing else going on here. On the one hand, bats rely on their incredible ears to navigate the world using echolocation. On the other, something else happens. You can't put it in between these 2 sentences. So just the way that on the one hand works, where the 2 things you compare have to be after it, C doesn't work, just because of the way this question is formatted. Then otherwise is saying, if this doesn't happen, we'll do this, right? I'm going to go to bed early. Otherwise, like if I don't go to bed, I'm going to be tired tomorrow. So, no, it is not C. C is incorrect. B is the correct answer in the same way. The reason you guys are thinking on the one hand is correct, my guess, is that if you said on the one hand, bats rely on their incredible ears to navigate the world using echolocation. On the other, dogs use their excellent sense of smell to yada, yada, yada. That would be fine. But the way these sentences are ordered, you have to say on the one hand this thing, on the other hand this thing. That's not the way this is set up. So C is incorrect, B is the right answer. Not a great answer, but I think that's the right answer here. Don't worry, because I don't think they would have B be the correct answer in an actual test, because it's saying in the same way, like the way they do it, they're saying is the same, which is actually not true. But I think that they expect the correct answer to be B here. But that type of thing is the way this question is formatted, the question overall, this is not an official question, so I would not worry about that. Okay. Fred, did you link that?
Yeah, I did.
Thanks, Bird. What else we got? I'm going to, I should probably untransform this, huh?
Probably. Yeah, your computer's at 4%.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Let's do some Discord stuff. Nerdish. Question about writing in standard form. Jay, what is your question about writing in standard form? What do you mean by writing in standard form? I actually have no idea what that means.
Like the slope-intercept, change it to standard form. Ax plus by equals c.
Oh. For eel? What? Like
Equation of a line. Just solve for
equations of lines. So linear functions? So wait, we're not talking about standard form of parabolas.
No, the standard form applies to everything.
Okay, I know, but specifically
Yes.
linear functions. Okay. So that would be ax plus by equals, no, plus c equals 0. Yes, Bird?
I think for linear it's equals c.
It is equal c?
Yeah.
Okay. You can double check that.
Sure.
Y equals 2x plus 1, the answer I got. Yeah. Y equals 2x plus 1. Where did you get that? That's an answer for what?
Yeah, x plus b equals c.
What do you mean y equals 2x plus 1? What do you how do you write that in this form? How do you get y equals 2x plus 1 to be like that? Is that the question? Yeah, I don't know how to change the form. Oh, okay. You got to manipulate. Okay, so this is the from that question. Let's see. So these points, I'm just going to double check your work. Unless, Brady, did you do this one with the 2 points? And do you remember? Was the equation y equals 2x plus 1?
No, we never did it. We just talked about how you would do it.
Okay, let me just double check. So 3 and 7, that works. And then -2, -3, we get -4 plus 1. Yes, so that is the correct equation. Good. Now, how do you change the form? This is slope-intercept form. You want to get it to look like this. Don't worry about the coefficients. Just you don't forget about them, but you're not worried about that. What you want to do is line up and put your x on the left side, your y on the left side after it, and then the constant term, so the term that doesn't have any variables in it, on the right side of the equation. So to get that to look like that, we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. And I'm going to put the 2x, or the -2x now first, because we want it first. So we get -2x plus y equals 1. And now we're actually done. Now we have our ax plus by equals c. A is -2. B is 1. C is 1. B is 1. It's not, you can't see it, but it's 1y, right? That would be the coefficient, is 1. So to change the form, worry about where your variables are and just put them on the side where they belong. Yeah, so it's not anything crazy, right, Jay? Yeah. So something clicked. It seems that's good. You explain way better than my math teacher. Yeah. To be fair, there aren't that many of you right now. And it's... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe your math teacher stinks. I mean, sometimes hearing it a second time just works. I don't know. I hope your math teacher doesn't stink, because you just had your first day of school, I assume, or one of them. I'm actually slow. Great. That's not true, I'm sure. Okay. We have, yeah, but it's an accelerated class.
Ooh, gotcha. Yeah, accelerate tutoring. Such a stupid name. I hate it.
Dude, come on.
I don't like it.
Why?
It's stupid.
It's not. We didn't think about that when we did it.
I did.
Did you?
Yes.
You didn't say anything.
Yes, I did.
Well, then why did we name it Accelerate?
Because we thought it was classier than nerdish.
It is.
I know. Still don't like it.
Keep talking.
Okay. We're having a business fight. If you have time, I posted the other one. I posted I Can Wait.
Which one? Where are you talking? What are you talking about? Jay, I actually don't know what you're talking about.
This one, how you got from here to there? Last topic on homework. Oh, I forgot to send. You forgot to send it? Also, everybody else who's not asking questions, what the heck are you doing?
Ask questions.
You have to ask us questions. Ooh, look at that. There it is. Okay. So, it sounds like maybe this year Jay will be going to school and then learning with Nerdish. Okay, yeah, I don't need this anymore.
Is that Lord of the Rings or is that Kiss from a Rose?
No, it's actually Pirates of the Caribbean.
Keep singing it. Okay.
Yeah? You like that? You guys love my company, let's be honest. Yeah, we do. I don't love your total lack of punctuation, but I love your company. Y is less than 4x minus 1. That's an ugly 4. That's kind of cool that that's entirely blocked. Bam! So, when you are graphing inequalities, all you do is you pretend it's an equal sign and graph it that way. Okay? So just graph it with an equal sign so you get your line. What am I typing? I'm grammatically correct when I type for essays. Oh, what? I'm typing. I'm grammatically correct when I type for essays. Yeah. I know. Whatever. Okay, so if we're just saying we're going to graph the line y equals 4x minus 1, let's do that. So minus 1 would be down here at -1. That would be our intercept. And then 4x is our slope, so it's going to go to, the point will be 1, 3, up 4 over 1. So that, missing the point, is our line. Now, it's less than, which means we're going to have a dotted line. If it's less than or equal to, we have a solid line. That demonstrates that we can be equal to, because this line would be if it's an equal sign. So if it's less than or equal to, you would have that line included. We don't have the line included, so I'm just going to do this. Okay, so it's a dotted line, and now we need to figure out which side to shade in, because it's all of the values there, and I will explain that. Do you have a question about like why you shade, like what does the shading represent, and why do we shade for inequalities? Do you have that question, or you just don't know which side to shade as a rule?
Which side to shade?
Which side to shade, what slope to slip?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Okay, a couple ways to approach shading. If it's a less than sign, if you're in this format, so if you have y is whatever the sign is and then everything else, you put your marker or a pencil or whatever on the line, and if it's less than or equal to, you go down. Then you shade everything where your marker is. If it's greater than or greater than or equal to, you would put your marker there and go up and then shade everything where your marker is there. I am also confused on how you found the 4x. Okay, what am I gonna... So the 4x, that's the slope, right? This is y-intercept. And that's the slope, that 4.
Is it still J?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, tell J it's still slope-intercept form.
Yeah, it's rise over run. So it's still slope-intercept form. It's just instead of an equal sign, we have a less than sign. So that's why I said treat it as though it's y equals 4x minus 1. You just graph that line. Then you say, okay, it's less than, not equal to. There's no equal to part of it, so you make it dotted or dashed or whatever. And then you fill in one of the sides based on less than. You just go below it, put your marker on it, just go down and start shading there. But yes, rise over run. That's how I picked that specific point. I went up 4, I went over 1, right? Because the rise is 4 and the run is 1. That less than tricks me. Yes, it looks different, right? Math is about recognizing new things and being able to deal with it. So here you need to recognize, because you have a less than, you start not recognizing other stuff. Marco, you followed. Ask a question. That's the point. Thank you for the follow, though. We appreciate it. 190.41. Cool. That's a good number.
It is a good number.
It's actually the smallest prime number. Right, Bird?
Yes. Okay. So there's. Oh, okay. So if you don't have a question on that, let's do this one. Also, for other people, please ask your questions. You can feel free to watch us tutor Jay. That's totally fine. But you can also ask your own questions. Wait, can I wait till you guys can? No. I mean, I don't have a problem doing yours. I just want other people to know that they should be asking questions. Otherwise, they're doofuses. Kuz, I called you a doofus before because it's probably a bad. I think that's why you were asking why or how or something like that before. I hope you didn't leave because you were upset with me. But I called you a doofus because watching reaction videos is a good way to get stressed out more than you already are. I recommend you go on a run or do something physical. Okay, so you're saying y is less than 2? Yeah, that's the situation. Okay, y is less than 2. Graph the line y equals to 2. Just do that first. Well, the line y equals 2 means that the value of x doesn't matter. Y is always going to be 2. So when x is 5, what is y? 2. So that's a point on your line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. That's a point. When x is 3, what is y? 2. That's a point. Oh, look. It's a horizontal line at y equals 2. Now, where do we shade in? It's less than, so we put our pencil on the line and we go down, and then it's just this stuff. What are the ellipses for? What is the ellipses for? What's the question? Makes sense. Cool. Oh, sorry. And this would be a dotted line because it's less than, not less than or equal to. By x times 0, because it's canceled. Yes, exactly. Technically, this line is in slope-intercept form. It is y equals, or less than, or whatever, 0x plus 2. You can think about it that way. So don't freak out. And then just for kicks, Jay, I want you to graph this line on your own. Y equals -3. What would that look like? Explain it. Explain it.
Tutoring.com. I wonder if people from Reddit see the videos we post that are like a couple minutes delayed, and then they think it's interesting, but they don't know we're live at all, and they just follow, but they never actually watch us live.
I hope not. They would see the texts happening though, so they would understand the concept that it's live, but they probably wouldn't.
Well, they see the messages that are happening at the time of the video, but
right.
Not like currently.
The fact that we're responding to them suggests to them that we are live at a certain time.
I feel like people should understand. People understand live streaming at this point, right? Aren't all new babies born with that inherent knowledge?
Yeah.
It's like clean slate plus streaming understanding.
Yeah. That's the only extra thing they have.
You didn't answer me, Jay. Oh, you would just go to -3 and it would be vertical. Absolutely correct. Good job.
I'd like to do something now.
Is it totally unrelated? I'd like to do one other thing unless you see another problem.
No, I want to just do something.
Okay, let me do something for Jay first. The only thing you need to worry about, Jay, and this is very important. When I told you to just assume that that less than or greater than sign or whatever it is, you just make it a 0 and graph that line. That's fine,
But you have to worry about something where, let's say you get 2x minus 8y is less than or equal to 7. Okay? If this is your line, you can't set it. You can't make this equals quite yet. You need to do, and you'll see why in a second. You need to solve for y first, okay? So that you can graph it anyway, because this is hard to graph. So let's subtract 2x from both sides. We get negative 8y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 7. Then we divide both sides by negative 8. But, and you may, I hope you remember this, when you divide or multiply by a negative number, when you have inequalities, you have to switch the sign. When we do this, we get y, and now it's greater than or equal to 1/4 x minus 7/8. So when you graph it, negative 7/8 is, let's say, here. It doesn't really matter. 1/4, let's say, now that's going to be what it looks like roughly. It's greater than or equal to, so we have a solid line. And it's greater than, so we're going to be shading up here. Now, what I want to bring your attention to here is you can't just make this an equal sign right away. You'd still get to here. This would be an equal sign, but then you might say, well, it's less than, so I shade underneath, because that's what I had at the beginning. But the sign flipped in manipulating the equation. So you have to remember that, because when you multiply and divide by negatives, when you have inequalities, the sign flips. So do not make this equal to make this into an equal sign until you've gotten into this form where you have y by itself. Okay, Bird, you have another question you want to do?
There's a couple I could do. There's an ACT question. Yeah, this is a fun one.
But there's nothing that's needed necessarily?
No, there's nothing that's needed necessarily. Is that okay?
I mean, yeah. Okay. Do you want to ask a follow-up question on that, Jay? Or anybody else? Thank you for spotting me, Brady.
Yes, you're racing. It can take a lot out of you, especially with oil prices being what they are. All right. 5 balls, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, are placed in a bin. 2 balls are drawn at random without replacement. What is the probability that the sum of the numbers in the balls drawn is 7? This is fun. Without replacement. All right. So the sum of the balls is going to be 7. There's only a couple of combinations you can have that would make that happen. Let's see. If you draw a 1, you're out of luck because you have to have a 6. You don't have a 6. So 2 and 5. That would work. 2 and 5 would work. Now here's the thing. 5 and 2 would also work here. Order here would matter, because they're drawing at random without replacement, meaning they're drawing 1 and then they're drawing another without putting that first one back in. So we have to take into consideration that getting a 2 and getting a 5 would work, just like getting a 5 and then getting a 2. So this is another possibility.
My lord, the computer has passed away.
That is sad to hear, my lord. All right. 3 and 4. 3 and 4 would work, as would 4 and 3. And then once you get to 5, you're back to 5 and 2. Okay? So there are 4 options here, 4 possibilities that would get you 7. The thing is, how many total options do we have? That is the question, okay? So your very first option here. So when you have, I guess you could say ball 1, there are 6 options. And then once you draw from ball 1, there are now only 5 options. Okay, so to get the total number of options here, you'd multiply these here. 6 times 5 gives you 30. All right, so there are 4 options out of a total of 30 possibilities that would get you where you want to go. So if we were to put that over, let's see, 2 over 15, do we have that here? Interesting. The sum of the numbers of the ball drawn is 7. 6 times 5. That's why. It's not 6 times 5. There's only 5 balls. Okay. Sorry about that. 5 times 4, which is 20. Which is 20. All right? Probability is desired over total. There are 4 that we desire, 4 that we covet, over 20 total. Simplifies to 1/5. You got a 1/5 shot here, 20% chance. It's almost like you got like 5 balls, you're trying to pick one of them in particular. Would be a similar probability, but it wouldn't really, that would just confuse you because it doesn't actually apply to this, even though it's a similar situation. Yeah, that's probability for you. As I call my dad, hey, probability dad, because in Spanish it's probability dad. And then he looks at me, and I realize that that was dumb, what I said. So I don't call him probability dad. I'm only imagining going through that. I actually have never called him probability dad, so I guess saying that I do is a complete lie. Very good. Levi, do you know the times?
8:58.
8:58. All right, guys, running out of time here. You know what? There was an interesting question that I liked. If anybody has any questions, please, for the love of Pete, for his sake, tell us. Was it in here? No, it was in the Discord. We get like 3 viewers. We should just call it a night, leave.
Okay.
If everyone is set, we're going to go ahead and call it a night.
It is a night.
You know who we haven't seen in a while? A certain knight by the name of Sir Cumference.
Oh, we have not. That's true.
I'll invite him for next time. Anyway, hey, it's been fun.
Yeah. Come back with questions next week, and we will answer those questions.
Bring your friends, please.
Bring your wives, bring your husbands.
But don't bring your aunts and your uncles.
Yes. Bring all your significant other words.
Goodbye.